Shade.
That doesn't matter.
We like the sun.
I love the sun.
Me too.
It's not every day. It's not every day.
Yeah, we've been having rains for days.
Man, I tell you what, if we didn't have this top right here, we'd probably have about 5 games on our schedule right now.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
By the way, my name's T-Bone Shelby. So I'm one of the Brewers outfield coaches. I work with the outfielders. Played a little bit professional baseball. Played for about 15 years. So, played for the Orioles, Dodgers, Tigers. 1 year with the Red Sox, and been coaching for about 17 years. So this is probably like my 32nd, 33rd year in professional baseball.
Wow.
So, been around a little while. But anyway, everybody here is a coach, right?
Yes.
What do you all coach? What, Little League? Or,
Little League.
Everybody coaches Little League?
13 to 15.
Okay.
7 to 8. That range around there.
All right. Well, like I was telling the other group, you guys have any questions before I just start talking? I'd like to leave it open because you're the ones that are coaching, and I want to make sure I hit on something that you may have some questions about. So I know
Let's say on a fly ball, and our proper way to when we finish off throwing, we catch the ball, and then do we take 2 steps and throw?
Yeah.
And then do we have to finish just almost like a pitcher when we finish throwing the ball? Or do we stay standing up?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, there are more than one way to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
I was always one. I always caught the ball on my left-hand side.
Yeah.
And I played with other organizations. Actually, when I got traded to the Dodgers, and our outfield coach saw me, first thing he did was call me in, and he didn't tell me to stop going, but he asked my reasoning for catching the ball on this side, because they always taught catching the ball on this side, so when you have it, you can get rid of it quicker. But to me, I've never felt comfortable going across my face and across my body.
Yeah.
I've always been a big believer of catching the ball on this side with this hand. Whether you catch it here or you catch it here, you still have to go up and get the ball. And I told him my reasoning for it was that when I get back and I see a ball, I'm already set up with my left foot planted. Not going back and catching balls like this. I've always been able to go back and catch a ball, and then I would right, left, throw. Coming in on a ground ball is different. I've always been one to believe that when you come in and catch it, always did the crow hop. The crow hop is difficult for some people. Mm-hmm. I've had other coaches that come in, they get it, and they teach in one step. And when I got traded to the Dodgers, I would say probably the best player that ever did that was Raul Mondesi. And everybody, they always tried to teach all the outfielders to be like Raul Mondesi. But yet, Raul Mondesi was the only guy that could throw like Raul Mondesi.
Yeah.
So
True.
The way I teach is that what works best for you. I like I said, I always did the crow hop. I've always been one to catch it on this side, and I just had a little thing with my outfield coach. His name was Joe Malfitano, and the way he said, catch it here. And I said, Joe, I tell you what, if you see me drop balls, I'll do it your way. We had a bet, and to this day, I still catch on this side. I knew I could catch on this side.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you all have to remember, and I've seen it, I have 5 boys, and they all play baseball. I have 1 in professional baseball. I have 2, 1 in Little League, 1 in, that just finished college, and was with Baltimore. He just got released in spring training. I have another one at home that's not playing. But one of the things that I've always seen, when I go home in the winter, I leave in February and I go home in October. I mean, that's the way the schedule works. So I very rarely get to go home. My oldest son's 25. I think I've seen him play 6 times. My 13-year-old, I got to see him play last year for the first time ever. Wow. I mean, ever. I had 1 in college. I saw him play 5 times. So all my teaching is out here with these guys. And the thing that I always hope and pray for is that when my boys, when they played ball, I always hope and pray that their coaches knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Because I would work with them in the off season, and then when the season started, I'm hoping they get the right teaching. But one of the things I always did with my boys, and I was telling the other group over there, you being a coach and you're coaching younger kids, one of the first things you should do is check out the glove size. And especially if you have outfielders.
Yeah.
Because one of the mistakes that parents make is that when their kids are outfielders, just say they may like Brian Braun. Where you could probably go in a sporting goods store in Milwaukee and find a glove with Brian Braun on it, and it's probably this big. But because he's an outfielder and the kid is this size or this, the glove's too big. Make sure they have a glove that fits them.
Fits their body.
And here's my reason. You know, one of the most popular shoes all the time, the Jordan shoes, right? When the Jordan shoes come out, and Jordan wears size what? Who knows, maybe a 14 or 15?
15.
You understand what I'm saying? You don't go buy a 3-year-old a size 14 Jordan, do you? You buy the size that they have so they can grow into it the same way with their equipment. You make sure kids have a nice size glove so that they can grow into it.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the world. And the reason is that, you know, being an outfield coach, I've always been a big believer in my outfielders working with small gloves during batting practice. The reason is that we all use infield gloves during batting practice. When you get your ground balls, the first thing you do, if your glove is too big, an outfielder, or just say a child, say you got a kid this size, and his glove is bigger than this. You think he's going to get all the way down to catch a ground ball? Why would he? Because his glove is big.
Yeah.
His glove is big. But if they have the right size glove and they have a small glove, now you see the fundamentals come into play. Now all of a sudden, they have to bend their knees. Now all of a sudden, they have to reach down to the ground. Now all of a sudden, instead of their head being here and trusting in the glove, now their head has to go down with the glove. Watch the ball go in. Yeah.
Line drives.
Line drives.
Those are the hardest
The
ones to teach.
toughest ball to teach. Freeze. Yeah. One of the mistakes you see when a line drive is hit,
They run up to it.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
does it. Everybody. They do it up here. I did it. I'm telling you, I did it at the major league level. As soon as it was hit, and from experience, by the time I took 2 steps, I already knew. Like, man, you just messed up. And now I'm hoping and praying that I got a glove this size because I know I got to go all the way back to get it.
Yeah.
You just have a freeze. And it's not easy. But if you're a coach, you can practice it. You know, you can have your kids flip them balls. Just line them up just like you are, have them one at a time. Flip them something. And you can do it yourself. You can make it look like it's coming high because you got to think about it. It's coming at the, when you do this, it's the same angle from coming up. The ball's coming out this way. So when you flip it to your kids, all of a sudden, now they realize, hey, I came in too far. Or you can take a little off and they freeze and they learn how to come in and get it. It's not easy, but it takes repetition. And all it takes is just a little bit of practice. You got to get them confident. And practice is, you know, the thing about playing up here is that people always say practice makes perfect. Not perfect practice. Practice things the right way, you do them the right way. But if you just come up and just do things just to do them and you're not getting the fundamentals right, it's going to show on the field. You know, I've always believed you need to catch the ball out in front of them. One thing that'll mess up a kid is if they get hit with a ball. The balls hurt. And I'm going to tell you now, they hurt when you're little, they hurt when you're big up there. Some of these guys, you don't see them when they go in the locker room after the game. Things hurt.
Yeah.
Some guys can rub it off, and, you know, when I played, one of the things I always told my trainer, if I get hit, you know, don't run out there and make this guy think he hurt this. But the whole time I'm running down to first base, and I'm like,
God.
I'm scared to look at my arm because I think it just knocked it off, or I think it's broke, but I'm not going to make a decision of it. But, you know, these things hurt.
Yeah.
And the more confident you can get a young kid to believe that he can catch a ball and not be afraid of it, the more successful he's going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as a coach, you guys are going to see when they're up there hitting, the last thing they want to do is think about getting hit. And I'm telling you, when they get hit, they don't want to play anymore. So you got to teach them not to be afraid of the ball. And the thing I was talking about with catching up here, I like catching on this side because you can always have your hand here. I always, to this day, when I catch fly balls, I still catch like this. Because if it pops out, my hand is right here. I don't believe in catching here and bringing your arm all the way up. Now you got to go long throw. I've always, like I said, when I went back, caught it, now I step, keep my momentum. One good practice for young kids, throwing. How do you teach them how to throw? Step to where you're throwing the ball. You see kids with all kind of arm
To the
angles.
side.
Step to where you're throwing the ball. If I'm throwing to you, I step to you. If I'm throwing to you, I step to you. Always teach that because wherever you step, your body's going to go. And a lot of times you have kids in the outfield, they'll just get it and just throw it. Well, he stepped way over here, so how can you expect the ball to go there? If he steps here and his arm is here, more than likely the throw is going to be way offline. Always get them to practice long tossing. Step to it, and always that's always been a key of mine. Step to where you're throwing the ball. And like I said, check the glove size. Please check it. Because if their glove's too big, man, they're going to get into all kind of bad habits. They're not going to reach down and see the ball. They're not going to have fun. It's hard being in the outfield.
Yeah.
Because when you're standing out there, you're watching birds fly by, you know,
Everything.
everything. And then all of a sudden when it's hit, you don't want to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I played, I was like, I want to catch everything. But, you know, when the infielders miss balls, when I played the outfield, who had to get it? Me. Did I miss it? Nobody. Everybody's like, man, there goes T-Bone. He just missed it. I wanted to catch everything. And, you know, like I said, I played 15 years. I played for, you know, the 88 Dodgers World Series, 83 Orioles World Series. So I've been blessed. Had a good career.
Been on horse.
Any other questions?
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Steve.
You guys, man.
All right,
Make some good
thank you.
coaches. Make some
All
ball
right.
players. Hey,